Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. And wow, it's been a while since I've said that phrase. Hi, it's been a while since I've recorded a video or posted a video or anything along those lines. And it feels like forever, honestly. I think realistically it's been like 2 to 3 months since I've done this. And I want to start posting again, but it also feels weird to just like jump into posting without any sort of like, hi, I've been gone for a little bit video. So why not just record that? So yeah, like I've been going through a little bit of a reading slump slash like just a general midlife crisis, it feels like. And so that is like the top level description of what I could provide for you in terms of like why I haven't been around lately. There's been a lot going on, both in the world in general as well as personally, and I've been having a hard time. I'm feeling like a little bit better than I have over the past couple of months, but I'm still not at 100%. Also, this video is like completely unscripted and things like that, so I apologize in advance if I'm all over the place. So yeah, the last time I posted a video was September. I think it was September, August or September, and it had to do with me like reading over the summer, doing the Obama reading list, which was honestly really great. Like I really enjoyed the books that I read. And then after that, my reading just like went way off a cliff. So I figured I could start with like the book and reading side of things first and then like move on to other things. I'm not going to go like super deep into details about like what's been going on in like my life and stuff like that, but I feel like just in general, life and circumstances has like led to me not reading as much. So in September, I read one book. In October, I read more than one book. I want to say it was like 3 or 4 books maybe, but the main reason why I read that much is because I went on like a vacation, and so I had more free time and like capacity to read. And then in November, I read 2 books, one of which was like a short novella. Right now we're about a week into December and I'm reading, but it's very slow going. So that's kind of what's going on with my reading. And so like if I'm not reading, I'm not really making videos because personally I just don't feel inspired to make videos when I'm not reading books, because like part of the reason why I started doing booktube is because I wanted to talk to other people about books, and if I'm not reading, don't have a whole lot to talk about. And yes, there are other videos that people make and that I could theoretically make, but those are not the videos that get me excited. So like to me, there's like a direct correlation between if I'm making content and the amount of books that I'm reading. Yeah, that's kind of like where things are at with books and things like that. And like part of it is also like I haven't been watching very much YouTube, or I shouldn't say that. I haven't been watching a lot of booktube. I've been watching a lot of gaming videos lately. Like I've always watched Twitch streamers and I've always watched a little bit of gaming videos, but there's been like a significant increase in that content that I'm consuming. And I think a strong reason why I'm watching so much of that lately is because it is very much like I don't have to think about that content at all. Like I can just put that on and like kind of zone out a little bit and decompress from the days. I don't have to engage with that content at all. Whereas with BookTube, it requires a little bit more concentration. Like yes, I could theoretically put on a video in the background and just like zone out. But the reason why I'm watching BookTube is because I want to hear people talk about books, and I'm like processing what they're saying and deciding like, oh, that book sounds interesting to me. Let me go to my library website and see if they have it available. And like, there's a little bit more like work, it feels like, that's involved to watching BookTube. And also like, I try to be someone who's engaged in the community and like commenting and thinking about like things like that. So at the same time, like I don't feel like doing any of that right now. And I don't know if this is just like a right now situation or just an in general situation, but I also haven't been very excited by a lot of books this year in general. Again, it's been a year and lots of changes have occurred in my life and lots of things are going on in my life. And so I don't know if it's a me situation or just like the books that are coming out just aren't really doing it for me. I also think that like a lot of people that I watch on BookTube just haven't been posting as much. And so the people that I would typically get recommendations from, I don't have that lane as much anymore. Like obviously I'm still watching booktubers, but it feels like their tastes are different than mine. So you don't have like a kind of direct like, oh, this person really liked this book, so therefore I'm going to check it out kind of connection. Again, I think this is a lot of me more than anything else. But it's just, I've been feeling disconnected from BookTube too because of all of those reasons. And that also like feeds into the I'm not reading as much because I feel like I've been picking up a lot of books and I'm just like not interested at all. And because my energy levels have been so low and my motivation is pretty low, I have started and stopped, it feels like, dozens of books over the past couple of months because I'm just like, I'm not going to put in the effort to push through a book if I don't feel like I'm going to enjoy it. And that like bar, it feels like, is harder for books to overcome. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of books that I've tried to read, but they just weren't for me or weren't for me right now. And again, that just leads it to me feeling less motivated to do other book things because I'm just like, well, I can't figure out what I want to read. So therefore I'm not finishing books. And if I'm not finishing books, I'm not making videos. And like the last like piece of this is the fact that like personally, I've been having a really hard time. And again, I'm not going to go too far into detail, but like after I went on my trip at the first week of October, I got sick. And I was sick for a while and then eventually got better. I still have like a little bit of a lingering something that every now and then I cough. But for the most part, I'm significantly better than I was back in October and November. But yeah, that obviously affected my energy levels and what I could do. I've had like personal stuff going on, which I'm not going to get into. Nothing like crazy, but it's just like things that have taken up more of my mental real estate lately and like things that just have higher priorities. There's also like a part of this that I mentioned this in earlier videos, but like getting married and moving into my own house and, you know, our house, I should say, and like just having more responsibilities and more things to think about has really changed like how I'm doing everything. And it's been a little bit difficult, I'm going to be honest, to like adjust to this current life. Not so much that like the things that I'm doing are difficult, but just that the change has been difficult and I've like lived a very specific type of life for a very long time. And to have that change pretty significantly, you know, it requires work and it requires like a lot of changes and shifting and like doing things wrong, which is not an easy thing for me to deal with. And like that all plays a factor as well. So like, I feel like in general, like I have less time for reading in terms of like actual time in the day, but also like my capacity is a lot different than it used to be. A lot of days, like I just didn't have the capacity to read books. And I'm still feeling that a little bit, like unless it's a book that I like fully am engaged with, which there have been one or two over the past 2 months that have done this. For the most part, like I'm basically just reading these like little bits at a time. And then after like 30 minutes, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Or I just have something else that takes up my brain power and I'm like, okay, I need to remember to do this. And so I'll go do that instead. So yeah, I just don't have the capacity mentally or the capacity in my daily time schedule to read like I used to. And like this is like one of those weird things where like I don't know how to fully talk about it because it's like lots of great things are happening in my life, but also like there's been a lot for me to get used to and change and things like that. And it just feels like one thing kind of led to another and it kind of snowballed. Like there were personal things that were really difficult. Work was really difficult. Adjusting to this life has been difficult. And like the world in general has been really difficult that like I was just like, you know, I can't do it all. I'm not doing anything well, so I'm going to trim down what I'm trying to do so that way I can at least get used to doing a couple things well and then like add on more from there. I have been like debating over the last couple of months like should I keep making videos or not? There's a part of me that still loves talking about books. And like, I'm thinking right now, if I'm going to continue doing BookTube, it's probably just going to be like a single book review every now and then, which is fine. But obviously YouTube doesn't love those things and BookTube doesn't love those things. Like I'm going to be inconsistent. Don't know like how popular any of the book reviews are going to get. And like, I think I just have to be okay with it, which I think I'm coming to terms with. But also there's a part of this that's just like, do I have even the capacity to make videos anymore? Like spending more time in front of a computer after I've spent a very long day in front of a computer seems less appealing than it used to. But also like if I'm doing individual book reviews, it should be a lot faster than doing like wrap ups, which take forever to record. They're like 20-minute videos and then they take forever to edit. Part of me just wants to do individual book reviews for now if I'm going to do videos at all, because it'll be easier, but also at the same time, I don't know. So yeah, this is a weird video. Basically telling you my reading life is changing, my life in general is changing, and so therefore like booktube, because it's not like my real job, it's just a hobby and it's just a fun thing that I do, like it's on the bottom of the priority list. Reading in general has gone towards the bottom of the priority list as well because of the other responsibilities that I have. And I think I'm coming to terms with that fact, and I'm like becoming okay with like reading less and therefore creating less. And like maybe things will change next year, who knows? But this is kind of where I'm at now. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to make a little chatty video being like, this is what's going on. I recorded 2 other videos. One of them was a wrap up, like I said, of my September and October reading. One of them was an individual book review of a book I read that I really, really loved, specifically Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. And then since I read like 2 other books in November, I think I might just record 2 other short videos about those books as well, and then just kind of try to post them when I can. And that's my goal. That is literally my goal. From now on, like I really love making individual like discussions about all the books that I read, whether it's an individual book review or in a wrap up. I just like doing this because I feel like I remember the books better when I talk about them online. I love recommending books to people, and I don't want to like stop doing that because it's a thing I genuinely enjoy, but I think I also need to be okay with the fact that like it's going to look different moving forward. And so, yeah, that's just where I'm at. So, that's all I got. Yeah, leave me a comment down below. Say hi if you've watched this far, or in general, if you've watched, like just say hi. Let me know some books that you've loved recently because Lord knows I need some recommendations. It's actually funny because I think a couple of the books that I read over the past couple of months have been based on recommendations. So yeah, tell me a book you've loved recently. Maybe it's your favorite book of the year. Maybe it's just a favorite book you read recently. Anything along those lines, because I need to get some inspiration for books to read. And hopefully I will get this video up along with those other 2 that I've recorded, and I will just slowly get back into the practice of doing this again because I am very, very rusty. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.